Hey, what's up, guys? My name's TB, and today we're going to be talking about episode 49 of My Hero Academia Season 3. And this episode, I know that maybe I've said that another episode during the season was the greatest episode in this season, but since this season is going to be 24 episodes, I feel like there's no other episode that's going to come out this season that tops this episode. Last week, we saw the beginning of All for One fighting One for All, and that was just the beginning of the fight. That was not at all the climax of the fight. That was just the very beginning. And from this week, it's very obvious that All for One has a different way of fighting than One for All. It seems like whenever All for One is fighting with someone, he likes to mix like insults and personal information along with the fact that he actually is pretty strong. And he likes to back up the fact that he can say whatever he wants because he's strong. He even says later in the fight that, enough with this emotional talk and this talk about feelings. Let's talk about reality. Let's talk about the fact that I'm stronger than you and I want to destroy you right now. In the beginning of this episode, there's a common theme throughout this episode, and it's origins. Where did you come from? Why are you doing what you're doing? And that's going to help All Might when he's fighting All for One, because he really is running out of the last bit of strength that he has. Ever since he transferred One for All to Midoriya, he's slowly been losing the power that he had. And I didn't know that that's actually how One for All works. There's a couple times throughout the series in season 1 and season 2 where, yeah, we knew that All Might was getting weaker, but I always assumed that was because of the fight that he had with All for One in the past. You even see that he shows you the mark on his stomach. That was a bad hit that he took from the last time that they fought. And then we get to see a pretty good picture of Nana here, what she looks like when she was in her prime, when she was alive, because apparently All for One killed her. And then Bakugo, we have a picture of Bakugo here, and he's just he's acting the same way that we expect him to react. He wouldn't react any differently. He's like, you guys didn't save me. I just came with you conveniently because I wanted to get out of All Might's way so he could fight to his fullest. And you even see that later in the episode too. People help All Might out. He doesn't do this by himself. He didn't have the strength by himself. And it's a good theme. Combined with where did you come from, why are you doing this, to my strength is not my own. I have my friends and the people who care about me to help me accomplish the things that I need to accomplish, because he's a hero. He's not a villain. And then we have Midoriya just kind of second guessing a little bit, for not too long, just for a little bit. He's like, "Oh, did we make the right mistake? Did we do everything that we needed to do to help you, All Might? Like before we left, did we do everything that we possibly could do?" And then we have All for One here doing exactly what I said, just getting inside the mind of All Might, making him just not be rational. And so even though he has enough strength to keep All for One at bay, he just keeps him thinking about stuff. He starts making fun of Nana, saying that he's the same way that she used to be, that she wasn't even worthy of even creating the All for One quirk. And this gets All Might's pissed, and then he strikes All for One in the face, and then he just reflects his shot like he's been doing ever since the last episode. And because of Gran Torino here, to make All Might have a clear mind, he's able to actually fight. I believe if Gran Torino wasn't there, All Might may not have been in the correct mental state to go through with this fight. He just would have kept banking against a wall until he would have got destroyed. Because right now, All for One is actually toying with him. He's not really using his strength to the fullest that he can. He will later in this fight, but right now at this moment he's not. So All Might uses all his strength to block a shot that All for One is going to use to destroy one of the citizens. And when he does that, his regular form is revealed. His form, that when he's not in his All for One form, the form that everyone knows All Might to be in, the strong muscular dude, he's like in the skeletal regular looking form, and everyone sees that. And you even see Midoriya's face. He's like, oh, everyone knows now. Everyone knows the secret. Only I and a couple other people knew, but now everyone knows. And even though that happens, All Might, he just clenches his fist, and he's just like, even if my secret is revealed, even if you're trying to do everything you can to like destroy my reputation, you can never destroy what's inside of me, which is my heart, my grit, the reason for why I do what I do. And then All for One still always has a trick of his sleeve. He's like, oh, really? I can't. Can I? And then he reveals the fact that Shigaraki is Nana's grandson, and this totally, like, it messes All Might up. It messes him up for a little bit, because he's like, oh, You've been fighting him without even knowing who he was. You smiled and you laughed when you defeated him, and now that you know this information, what are you gonna do with it? And everyone's watching him, of course. Not just the citizens, not just the pro heroes, the villains too. They're most likely watching this fight, so it's important that he sees the outcome. You see his reaction, and then All For One's like, "Why aren't you smiling? You're supposed to be smiling." And then he has a flashback to his predecessor Nana. He's like, "The people who smile are the strongest and the ones that win." And obviously, in this moment, he can't. You see the civilian just calling out to All Might, saying, "You gotta save me. You need to save me." Like he's calling for help, and it just looks like he's in a situation where he's trying to think about what he's supposed to do and how he's supposed to feel about this, because he thought everything was black and white to him. He's a villain, gotta stop him. Now it's not really so much like that. And then you see Midoriya and Bakugo both at the same time shout out that they want him to win, that they don't want him to give up, and that's sort of what gives him the strength and the courage to go on. Not just those two, but everyone. You see everyone in the streets, in the news, in their homes. They're all shouting for All Might to win. And then he has another flashback, All Might that is, to something that Nana said. He said, "When you feel like you're at the end of your ropes and you can't go on any further, remember where you came from." And then he has a flashback of where he came from and why he's doing this. And that, again, encourages him a little bit more. And right after that, right before they actually start fighting, they start duking it out for real. None of this blow-for-blow business. You see Endeavor show up. You see Edgeshot show up. You see Kamui Wood show up. Even Tiger pulls his weight here for a little bit, and he picks up Ragdoll, and he helps out. And then again, you just have everyone in the crowd reinforcing the fact that they want All Might to win. And then All For One comes in. He's like, "Enough of this feelings, enough of this. Motivation and adoration. Here's the truth. Power is what wins." And then he powers up all his quirks, and this was ridiculous. Do you see his arm? This dude's arm is ginormous. It's gigantic. He's combining all of these quirks. He's like, "I'm gonna defeat you in this one punch. I'm not messing around anymore. It's time to take this seriously." And then All Might, he powers up his right arm, and then they both clash. They clash there in the middle, and then All For One's like, "Oh, it's obvious now that you're just depending on the last bit of strength that you have for All For One. You already passed it on to Midoriya, didn't you?" And then he's like, "Yeah, I'll have to reprimand him next time I see him, because he's a little bit too like me. He's just doing whatever he wants, and he's not listening to the advice that other people give him at all." They do a couple blows, and All Might only manages to get one hit on him, but it's not enough to be a decisive blow. And then you see it's kind of like in the second season, right, when Midoriya was about to fight Todoroki. No, actually, he wasn't fighting Todoroki. He's fighting another one of the other students that was trying to manipulate his mind and his body. And then you see like the people in the past who used to use All For One, they kind of get to help him and give him a little bit of energy so he can move. That's kind of like what happened here with All Might. It seems like Nana gives him a little bit of energy, so he's able to put everything into his last attack, and his last attack is amazing as hell, man. You know that every single attack that All Might has ends in smash, and it's most likely a state, like Oklahoma smash, Detroit smash, Texas smash, stuff like that. Well, this is United States smash. This thing is ridiculous. It creates a giant tornado that destroys even more of the part of the city that they were already in. And he destroys them, man. All For One is just laying there on the ground, like lifeless, not saying anything. Obviously, he's not dead, because at the end, you see them take him into custody in the ambulance with the police. But you just see him just hold up his hand, hold up his fist, like, "I did it. It's fine. Everything is okay." And then that's it. That's the end there. That's the end of their fight. It didn't last as long, but it didn't need to last long. It just needed to be resolved in a way that made sense. And then All Might points to the crowd. He's like, "You're next." And Midoriya takes this a different way than everyone else, and even Bakugo takes it, because at the end you see Bakugo look at Midoriya like, "Why are you reacting differently to everyone else?" And it's because Midoriya knows that this is the last time that All Might's going to be fighting as a pro hero. He's done. He's used all of his strength. this is it. There's no more fighting for him. He's gonna retire, and thank goodness he's still alive, because he can still teach Midoriya a lot of things about how to be the new symbol of peace. But he's no longer the number one hero anymore. He's not the symbol of peace anymore. Someone else needs to take his place, probably as soon as possible. But Midoriya is not ready to do that, and it seems like Bakugo and Midoriya are gonna have some sort of confrontation soon, because like they both admire All Might, right? Ever since they were kids, they both admire All Might, except for Deku. Midoriya grew up without a quirk, and Bakugo grew up with a quirk. So I feel like Midoriya has a bit of a closer relationship to All Might than Bakugo does, because Bakugo's more like an admirer, and everyone admires All Might. He's a symbol of peace. But Midoriya got his quirk from All Might, so he feels a stronger connection to that. And that's pretty much the whole episode there, guys. Something else that I wanted to mention that I talked with one of my friends was the fact that in this series we don't really see any vigilantes. We either see heroes or we see villains. Stain kind of seemed like he could be a vigilante, but he murdered people. You know, he had a different worldview, a different philosophy for how the hero society should be and how they should use their quirks. But like, if he didn't like someone, he killed them. So that's not a vigilante. That's a murderer. I think in the future there will be something. Not that I know for sure, because again, only watch the anime, don't read the manga. But like, there's got to be someone who doesn't want to be a villain, but they don't agree with the rules that the hero society abides by. And I'm wondering if Midoriya is going to be that type of person. Well, not sure, not at all. But this week's episode was really great, because it resolved something that we needed to be resolved from the very beginning. Obviously, it's not the end. You still got the villains. You still got the Vanguard League of Villains. You still got Shigaraki around. He's probably pissed off that All Might wrecked his his master, All For One. And even though All For One's getting taken into custody, he didn't die, and he still has quirks. So they're gonna have to find some way to restrain him. You know, he's got an awesome amount of quirks. You just watch the fight. He's got so many, especially that one where like he can teleport someone close to him or away from him. Like, I don't think this is the last time that we've seen of him. You know, Eraserhead can erase his quirks, but can he really? He'll have to erase all of them. I don't know. I really don't. All I know is that I'm looking forward to the students stepping up, because you know the villains are gonna step up. You know they're gonna step up to the plate and be like, "This is not over. Just because All For One's defeated doesn't mean that we're gonna let this slide." And I'm excited, man. I really am. I just found out this week actually that there's gonna be 24 episodes instead of 12. I remember the first season was 12. Second season was 24, and this one's also 24, so that's exciting. It really is. Guys, let me know what you thought about this episode, and let me know what you thought about this review. I'd like to know your guys' opinions on how you think the format of the way I review. Give me, any feedback at all. I'd really appreciate it. And keep a lookout for some more episodes I'll be dropping later this week. Have a good day, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.